This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Mark Magnuson.
Hello and welcome into today's episode of Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. Today is Monday, September 26th, and we're so glad you could join us for today's show. And coming up in today's episode, I will talk with Keith Kutzbach of Wyffels Hybrids at the Wiffles Seed Production Facility in Atkinson, Illinois. We also have a look at the ag weather outlook, but first, let's run down the markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
At the end of another trading day, we are joined now by Tyler Schau from agmarket.net. Tyler, what did we see today on the grain markets?
Really, we saw the outside markets really come in and spook pretty much all the commodity markets, especially in the grain markets. Saw corn basically down 11 cents across the board on all the new crop contracts, and even into some of the 23 and 24 down 8 cents and 6 cents. Soybeans pretty much down 13 to 15 cents across the board, and all three contracts a week sold off about 23 cents today, largely in part on this currency play. Currently got the dollar trading at 114 or slightly above, which is, a 20-some-year high. And that's just as long as money flows into that U.S. dollar, it's going to be really tough for any type of asset class, whether that's equities or commodities, to really gain any traction.
Tyler, we saw numbers kind of across the board down today. Is that just the typical Monday effect, or is there something at work there?
Some of it could be Monday effect. We've been hearing yield reports, and for the most part, up until this last weekend, on corn especially, I would say they've been lower than expected. Over the weekend was kind of the first time we started to hear yield expectations of maybe as expected, in some cases better than expected. So I'm sure that's kind of weighing on the markets, but largely it comes down to the reaction to the dollar. Our export, we're currently the most expensive corn, soybeans, and wheat. I won't say in the world, but there's plenty of other places that are cheaper than us to go to if you're an importing country. And, the market's job is to figure out where price needs to be to get this grain moving. And right now the market's saying in the U.S. anyhow, our prices are too high. And with the relative dollar strength, and it's just going to continue to weigh on those markets until we see some relief on the dollar side.
Right now we're seeing harvests starting to begin in certain areas. Is that affecting the market yet, Tyler, or do we have to wait a little bit?
Yes, it is, and it's going to continue to play a role. The basis has been strong really across the Corn Belt all summer and really into this fall. As new crop harvest picks up, that's going to alleviate some of those basis pressures. Some of those local processors, your ethanol plants that are in your backyard, aren't going to have to work so hard to scrape up bushels. But the general feeling of the market is this corn yield and total production is going to be lower than obviously was anticipated this summer. And so basis, I don't think is going to collapse. It's going to stay somewhat supported. But the start of harvest is weighing a little bit on these markets, and will probably continue at least for the next few weeks until we kind of start filling up some of those spots that need it.
What was the takeaway from the livestock markets today?
Same tune as the grain markets. It's really hard to export meat when you've got multi-year highs in the U.S. dollar and a lot of financial concerns or economic concerns, not just in the U.S., but basically worldwide. And, proteins are going to be one of the first foods that are given up as we enter into a recession. So your futures markets are trying to price in that effect. We did have a cattle on feed report that came out last Friday. For the most part, kind of in line with expectations. Marketed quite a few more than we had anticipated. And, I would have argued coming into today that cattle on feed report was slightly bearish. And this morning, you actually saw feeder cattle up and fat cattle slightly up. It wasn't until that dollar really kicked in and started rallying mid-morning that we saw the break in really all three livestock classes: feeders, fats, and hogs.
And was there anything in the hog markets today specifically that caught your eye?
I not really, to be honest. Right now, December hogs are discounted considerably to the cash cutouts. That really hasn't dropped extensively yet. We'll have to see how the afternoon run on the cash index comes out. Just very sensitive to the macroeconomy. And when the new, the U.S. economy, we're ratcheting up rates 0.75 of a point, expecting another 0.75 of a point rate hike in another month or two. And so, our economy isn't in the best of shape, but when you're the best horse in the glue factory, you're going to see a lot of money flow into the currency. And that's essentially what's going on right now.
He's Tyler Schau from agmarket.net with our market analysis here today. Tyler, for our viewers that want to get in touch, how can they do so?
We always tell everyone, check out our website, agmarket.net, all kinds of information, all of our contact info is there. Sign up for a 30-day trial of our Ag Market Intel. And if you want to get a hold of me direct, my office number is 701-987-6009.
Tyler, thank you for the time today in the market analysis, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thanks again for having me.
And that was Tyler Schau from agmarket.net with our Ag Market Recap. Now let's turn our attention to the closing numbers brought to you by the folks at Bar Chart.
December corn is down 10.5 at 666 1/4. November soybeans down 14.5 at 1411 1/4. Soybean meal for December down $5.80 at 417.50. Soybean oil for December down $1.22 at 62.46. Chicago wheat is down 22.5 at 858 even. Minneapolis wheat is down 18 even at 931 1/4. And Kansas wheat is down 21 even at 929.5. December oats down 16.5 at 378.5. On the Merc, live cattle for October down 77 cents at 143.47. September feeder cattle down $1.25 at 176.87. Lean hogs for October down $2.25 at 90.37. December pork cutout down $3.55 at 89.50. And Class 3 milk for September down 2 cents at $19.85.
That's been a check of our Ag Market Recap here on Ag Matters PM. Now we're going to take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. And when we return, I will talk with Keith Kutzbach of Wiffles. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. At the tail end of last week, we had a chance to visit the seed production facility for Wiffles Hybrids, which is located in Atkinson, Illinois. We got a full tour and a chance to visit with Keith Kutzbach of Wiffles.
Mark Magnuson for the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, and I'm joined now by Keith Kutzbach, and we are here in Atkinson, Illinois, and we are at the Wiffles Hybrid Seed Production Plant. Keith, could you just tell us a little bit about this entire space, where we are today, and what goes into the production of the seed for Wiffles Hybrids?
You bet. So we're actually standing right now in the break room. Wiffles Hybrids, we have grown a lot in the last probably 10 years. We used to do about 300,000 units 2011, 2012. Now we're over 1 million units going through here. So we had a great expansion here the last probably 4 or 5 years. We've spent basically over $100 million here. So what you're seeing here is probably the latest technology when it comes to seed corn production. So like I told you there before, as we went through the plant, a lot of that equipment was built specifically for Wiffles hybrids. It was built by a German company. We are just, like I say, just very proud to see the growth that we've had the last 10 years, especially in our area. We basically cover we basically cover Illinois, Iowa. We get into a little bit in southern Minnesota, a little bit into southeast South Dakota. So in those Iowa and Illinois, we're actually the third largest seed corn company right now.
So Keith, a lot of new buildings here on the site. We walk through all of them, and it's just a very extensive setup. What's driving all of that expansion right now for Wiffles hybrids?
What's driving it is we have a tremendous sales force. And they took us, like I say, from 300,000 units in about 2011, 2012 to this year we'll probably ship out of here 1.3 million. So it's we just have a tremendous sales force. Bill and Bob, started back in, like I say, 2010, 12 in that area there. They made the decision to hire great people, increase their sales force, and it's really paid off for them. So.
Today we learned a little bit about the producers that create that seed that then goes out to the farmers that grow the corn. That initial seed that goes into the ground and then the plants that are grown, taken very good care of. And is that by design from the Wiffles brand to say that they want to have the best possible seed to provide to the farmers?
Definitely. We one thing that Wiffles is known for through the years is quality, and seed quality is number one here. I guess we always put it this way: this is the only chance we have to get on a grower's farm, and the only chance to stay there. So we have to do things a little bit different and a little bit better than anybody else. And when it comes to seed quality, that's one of them. So what we're looking for when we look for growers too is we're looking for excellent farmers. We're looking for some of the best ground to grow on. All the way through, we just right from the time we plant it till we put it in a bag or a box, we see quality is at the top. That's what we want to focus on. So
whenever I talk to someone that does work for Wiffles, it takes about 30 seconds, I'd say, before they mention that it's a family-owned operation. So why do you think Wiffles employees like to mention that as often as they do?
I think it's basically, I just feel that it is family-owned. It's farm family-owned. It's third generation. Bill and Bob's parents started it in 1946, and now you got Jacob, John, and Blake, have come into the operation. Bill and Bob basically have retired, stepped back. They're still involved in it. But I think it's because, I think it's just the whole family thing is also goes right through to all the employees too. They all feel like they're part of that family. So it's just one big family. Wiffles, I mean, Jay, you heard him, I didn't hear him say it today, but yesterday on a tour, somebody asked him something like that, and he's been with them 44 years. Somebody asked him, why does he still stay here? And he said, it's just a way of life for me. He said, it's my family. So.
Do you think that extends then to growers and farmers, and do they feel like I'd rather do business maybe with a smaller family-run operation because, like you mentioned, they're maybe going to focus on quality a little bit more than a company that is just so massive as some of the competitors?
I think that's a real sales tool for us, and I see that actually when I was out in the country selling for them, that I actually used it as a sales tool, that it's family-owned, family-operated, and, I think you heard me say at the beginning of the tour, every decision that's made here by the Wiffles family is with the customer in mind. I mean, if they don't have customers, they're not going to have a company. So every decision they make is with that in mind. And it's definitely, I think that's where our growth is coming from. I think today, everybody's tired of the big corporate companies out there. And I think they're looking to work with the smaller companies. And the thing of it is too, we have great people out there in the field, and I think that's helped sell us too. They want to deal with neighbors and stuff like that, rather than go to a retail where, hey, maybe they're selling 4 or 5 different brands. Here, this is the only thing we're selling is corn. So every one of our seed reps, they're familiar with it. They know the product, and they're going to be out there walking those fields with the growers too.
Here today, we also learned that the seed production plant, the farms that grow that corn to bring here, they are spread out over a wide area. And could you explain why that is again?
Okay, yeah, we're in 3 different growing areas. We have 3 different areas here in Illinois, and basically we're probably about an hour north of here, and then we got another area that's probably about an hour and 15, 20 minutes, and then we got another area that's about 2 hours south of here. The main reason for that is weather event. You know, if we had a weather event, if we grew it all in one place and we had a major weather event, it could really put a hurt on the company. So now what happens is we got 3 different areas we can grow in. And even like when we're harvesting, say we get rain down south of Peoria, we can move up into the Dixon area and keep harvesting today. Once we start harvesting, we have about a 7 to 8 week window in there. One thing with seed corn is it cannot take any frost at all. So we start usually about the last days in August, and we want to be done that first and second week in October. So that's what's nice about having 3 different growing areas again. We can, keep harvesting all the way through. Once we start, we don't want to stop. So
Something that really opened my eyes today was the extreme care to the quality side of taking care of that seed and all the testing that goes into it, actually growing some of those, a little bit of that seed from each and every group, it seemed like. Why is that so important?
That, to me, that's probably the most important. I always tell everybody, to me, that going through the quality lab is probably the most important part of the whole tour, because we are known for quality, and we do things a little bit different in there, a little bit that other companies don't do. And it's just one of those things that we have to do a little bit better, because this is all we have to offer. And we have an excellent group of people working in there. So.
And Keith, do you think people, when they come on this tour, do you think they realize going in how much care goes into creating, I guess, that bag of seed for a farmer?
You know, that's funny you ask, because that's a lot of times the comments I'll get when we finish is from different growers through the years. I've always had the comment, wow, I didn't realize there was that much involved in getting a bag of seed or a box of seed. So I tell my DSMs and my seed reps, this is a real sales tool for them. I mean, just get people to come in here. It really opens. Matter of fact, I was sitting there eating today, and the gentleman I was eating with said this is the first time he had ever went through a plant and didn't realize what was all involved. So.
All right, Keith, is there anything else you'd like to let our viewers know about when it comes to this seed production plan and this side of things from Wiffles?
I would just like to say, hey, thank you to all of you out there that are planting Wiffles. And if you're not, give us a try, because we're family-owned, family-operated, and you can see that I enjoy doing this. I mean, basically, you're probably not going to find anybody here at the plant that's not going to say something good about Wiffles. So, nope, that's just give us a try.
He's Keith Kutzbach with Wiffles Hybrids. Keith, thanks so much for the time, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, and we appreciate you coming and visiting us. Come back again.
That was Keith Kutzbach of Wiffles Hybrids. As for right now, let's turn our attention to the ag weather outlook. At the beginning of a new week, we are getting our first real taste of some fall-like temperatures, as it's going to be some cooler weather this week. And at nighttime, you might need to throw that extra blanket onto your bed, as it is going to be dipping down in some cases into the mid-30s. All right, let's see now what the National Weather Service has in store for the next 24 hours.
As you can see from the National Weather Service, temperatures are starting to feel more fall-like. Today we will have mostly sunny skies and mild temperatures. Temps range from the low 60s to low 70s. Tonight, mostly clear and cool. Lows overnight should range from low to upper 40s. Tomorrow, a lot like Monday, with mostly sunny skies, mild temps. Highs will be in the mid-70s to low 80s. Looking at the affiliate weather map, Cherokee with sunny skies and a high of 67. Shenandoah mostly sunny and a high of 73. Des Moines mostly sunny and 69. Albia mostly sunny and 68. Waterloo sunny and 64. And Clinton, the coolest temperature on the map, sunny and 62.
For a more detailed forecast in your part of the state, make sure you check in with your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. That's been a check of our ag weather outlook, and that also brings us to the end of another AM/PM episode. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. You can also follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. And you can find all of our video content and previous episodes of AM/PM on our YouTube channel. And while you're there, make sure you subscribe, click on that notification bell as well. That will let you know whenever we are providing some new content. And you can listen to our free twice daily market podcast wherever you find your favorite podcast at Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Mark Magnuson. On behalf of Riley Smith and Dustin Huffman, thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.